Nichols, y'all. Give it up.
All right. So, the folks that planned your event wanted to make sure you all had the opportunity to hear the three very best songwriters Nashville has to offer. Now, unfortunately, those folks were already booked for this afternoon. So we're here. And we're the three best songwriters Nashville has to offer in our price range. So you can feel really good about that. Yes. So a lot of times people will ask us, they want to know, how did you get to Nashville? How did you get in the music business? What's your story? And so through the years, I have managed to condense a 20-minute story down to one sentence that also happens to contain the name of a successful series of children's books and a Tom Hanks movie. The way I got to Nashville in one sentence pretty much is Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events meets Forrest Gump. Yes. So I graduated from high school with plans of majoring in broadcasting. It was the first day of the semester. Monday morning at 8 o'clock, the class was Introduction to Broadcasting. I was nervous and excited. The professor walks in at 8 o'clock and says, "I'm sorry, the class has been canceled due to lack of interest." Unfortunate event number one. Also, that's about the same time that I lost my interest in pursuing my college career. So I took a position, that's a fancy way to say I got a job, working the graveyard shift at a factory that made fried chicken tubs for KFC. I held that position for 4 months when I got laid off. Unfortunate event number two. So then I took a position with a part-time temporary job service and I began taking guitar lessons. Well, my guitar teacher tells me that he has heard about a record label in Nashville, Tennessee looking for singers. Well, undaunted by my lack of success in pursuing higher education and the job market, I enthusiastically made a trip here to Nashville where I auditioned for the president of Chart Records. And I was told, "Son, you got talent. You could just possibly be the next big thing in country music." That's what I heard. A short time later, I discovered the president of Chart Records was a total con artist. Unfortunate event number three. Can you all see the repeating pattern of adversity that I was dealing with here at the time? So several weeks later, my father and I are at the Attorney General's office in Nashville, Tennessee, when a man walks out and says to my dad, "Mr. Nichols, there's a producer from 60 Minutes on the phone. They are investigating the possibility of doing a story on Tim's experience with Chart Records." Hello, Forrest Gump. Yes, I was on 60 Minutes. I met Mike Wallace. I formed a band. I found a booking agent. And I met my mentor who gave me some of the most valuable advice I've ever received. He said, "Tim, if you want to hunt tigers, you have to go where the tigers are." Which was his colorful way of telling me that I could not stay in Greene County in Springfield, Missouri. I had to move to Davidson County in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's how I got here. Now, that seemed to be a smattering of applause. met with a tremendous,
just a little tired.
met with a tremendous round of indifference. I feel like, however, that you all are a very sharp group and you catch on quickly. So I feel like if you didn't, there would be other people here besides you. Which is why I'm going to give you another opportunity here to help me feel really good about that story. Okay, I appreciate that, but timing is everything. So we're going to try this one time. And that's how I got to Nashville. The story of the day I wrote this song with my buddy Craig Wiseman was just like any other day. We got together about the crack of 11. That's right. I have a t-shirt that says music is the reason I get up every afternoon. So Craig and I were just making small talk, having coffee. I'm telling him a story that I heard just the day before about a friend of ours who had had a health scare. Now, thankfully, it was just a mix-up at the lab and the guy's fine. Everything's good. But for several days, this guy literally thought that he was dying. Well, that reminded Craig of a story that he'd heard on NPR about a woman who had been diagnosed with cancer, and she said while she had time, she wanted to go mountain climbing in the Rockies. And so we started talking about living and dying. We started trying to put living and dying in the same line, thinking that could possibly be the title of a song. And we were spouting out these lines like dying to live. And out of the blue, Craig says, "Hey man, how about live like you were dying?" That's exactly what I thought. Yes, absolutely, yes, let's write that. So we got about halfway through it that day, and my son had football practice, and I wanted to get to his practice. And so since we had started late, we thought it would be cool to make up for it and quit early. A little more insight into the mind of a songwriter. So Craig called me back that night. I was downstairs in my little basement home office. He said, "Man, I think this thing is really special." I said, "I do too." And basically we finished it over the phone that night, and we knew that Tim McGraw was starting to look for songs for a new project. Tim McGraw being at the top of the country music food chain, so to speak, that's the first place we went. And he heard it and he said, "I love this, I'm going to record it," and he did. And it stayed at #1 for 10 weeks. It was the title of the album. It won an Academy of Country Music Award for Song of the Year, an ACM Award for Song of the Year. It even won a Grammy for Best Country Song. Now I will tell you, winning a Grammy is very cool. And if you ever have the opportunity to win a Grammy, you should totally do it because it's awesome. Yeah. Now I will tell you, Tom and Natalie will tell you there are things cooler than winning a Grammy. He didn't get a chance to play it. Tom wrote a song called "The House That Built Me." Natalie didn't get a chance to play it, but she has that song about her grandmother. And when you write those, when you can write those kind of songs and you start hearing from people all across the country and they tell you what your song means to them. Of all the stories Craig and I have heard about Live Like You Were Dying through the years, the one that stuck with me the most was we heard from a woman and she said, "There's that line in your song that says, 'I gave forgiveness that I've been denying.'" She said, "The first time I ever heard that line, I had not spoken to my father in 15 years. But I heard that line in your song, 'I gave forgiveness that I've been denying.' And I picked up the phone and I called my dad for the first time in 15 years. And we have a relationship now. I gotta tell you, for me, that's way cooler than winning a Grammy." He said I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me, when the moment came to stop me in time. He said I spent most of the next day looking at the x-ray, talking about the options, talking about sweet time. I asked him when it sank in, this might really be the real deal. How's it hit you when you get that kind of news? said, man, what'd you do? Said, I went skydiving, and I went Rocky Mountain climbing. I went 2.7 seconds on a full name Fu Manchu, and I loved deeper, and I spoke sweeter, and I gave forgiveness I'd been denying. And he said, someday I hope you get the chance to live like you were dying. Amen to that. He said I was finally the husband that most of the time I was, and I became a friend would like to have. And all of a sudden, going fishing, it wasn't such an imposition. And I went 3 times that year, I lost my dad. He said, I finally read the good book, and I took a good, long, hard look at what I'd do if I could do it all again. And then I went sky.